listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson, episode 192. Hey there, you're listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast. My name is Angela Henderson, and on this show, we talk about improving your business, life, or both by having amazing and rich conversations with brilliant guests who will inspire you and who will give you tips and tricks to help you grow both in life and in business. Well, hey there, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Business and Life Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ange, from Angela Henderson Consulting, where I'm an international award-winning business consultant and coach who has helped thousands of amazing women business owners get all the pieces in place to have consistent 4- and 5-figure months and then on to 6- and 7+ figure years without burning out in the process. Today is just a solo episode. In fact, at time of recording, it's 9:13 p.m. at night. And you see, I don't typically record podcasts the way I'm about to tonight. Normally, I batch record 10 to 12 podcasts in one go. Typically, I'm super organized. But you see, in the last 2 weeks, things have changed dramatically. And I wanted to share this with you. The podcast I was supposed to do tonight was around pricing, money, and was going to be chatting about how doors are open for my 4-week accelerator program, Everyday Payday. But that podcast felt hard to do. It didn't feel in alignment. And if there's one thing I've learned over the last few years is to lean into what is in alignment and let go to what is not serving me. That's why tonight it's just you and I. Me getting raw, potentially tears. Tonight I'm going to be sharing with you when things turn to shit in business and life and how to cope moving forward. 2 weeks ago, my beautiful 12-year-old boy, Finley John, started high school. Here I was thinking that after 2 weeks of school holidays getting pushed back because of fucking COVID, and after 6+ weeks of school holidays, I'd be back in my routine. I was already fist pumping, back in my zone. But boy, was I wrong. Wrong. It's been the opposite. Overnight, Finley went from a boy to a teenager, literally like that. And the emotional container he needs me to hold for him is getting bigger than ever before. As I mentioned already, it's after 9:00. And before I hopped onto this podcast, I was laying with Finley, holding the space he needs. No words, just him and I, in the dark, pure silence. This has now happened many times over the last 2 weeks as he tries to process his new reality. New school, new teachers, new volleyball excellence program, new mode of transport, aka needing to take the bus and train, new $50 cell/mobile phone that is not an iPhone or even has a touchscreen. It's literally old school 1980s phone because I refuse for him to have an iPhone with internet. And his fears around being humiliated are real. New Googling what to tell your 12-year-old about Santa. Yes, that's correct. He Googled this. And I've also had to break the news to him that Santa, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny are also not real. New conversations around vaping and yes, even sex. You see, there has been so much positive change, but equally so much loss. And as adults, as mothers, as business owners, we forget that wherever there is loss, there is grief. The reality? He needs me. And if the truth be told, I need him just as much. To reset, to slow down, to remember why I went into business. Somewhere I've forgotten about this. These last couple of weeks, when I say have been hard, felt hard, where things have felt confusing, frustrating at times, I've just had to learn to lean in. And here's what's gotten me through and what I'll continue to draw on over the next little while, because this isn't going away overnight. Number one, everything is happening for me, not to me. Let me repeat that. Everything is happening for me and not to me. The second thing I've been drawing down on is I have a strong belief around divine timing. I know I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast, but that's the belief that everything in my life happens at exactly the right moment. Though things or events, such as what's going on with Finley, may seem tough or unusual or not make sense, divine timing assures you and me that the universe is placing people, things, challenges, and more into our life when we can handle them. Number 3, I'm right on time. The 4th thing that I've been pulling back on is backing myself. That might seem like an unusual thing, but often we forget to back ourselves. I have to remind myself nobody has come to save me and that I have found the strength within myself to back myself. The 5th thing that's gotten me through is remembering why I went into business. That's the part where it gets a bit emotional because sometimes we forget about why we went into business. Sometimes we just forget. Sometimes we get lost. And remembering why I went into business, it was to create space for my kids when they need me. And right now they need me. There will always be more money to make. The 6th thing, tears. God knows I've shed more tears over the last couple of weeks. Let it release. Let me repeat, let those tears release. Number 7, daily meditation. I've actually started meditation on the 1st of January, and I've been doing daily meditation every day. So I was doing it even before this happened, but it's been a practice that I've continued. Even if it's only 5 minutes of meditation, it's definitely helped to clear things. And number 8, daily gratitude. I've been practicing gratitude for a very, very, very long time. And again, when I close my eyes and lay my head on my pillow, I say 3 things that I'm grateful for. I mean, as many of you know who listen to this podcast, I also have my British Bulldog Grateful. So I hear Grateful's name a million times a day. So the beautiful thing is there's always a sense of gratitude. I was looking at the last 2 weeks as a bit of a shitstorm. But here's the reality, is I was looking from a negative space, but upon reflection, this has been an opportunity. The opportunity to let go, the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to be there for Finley, to hold space for Finley. Who knows what tomorrow will bring as I try and navigate this new space, but I just have to trust. I need to surrender. From one woman in business to another, from one mother to another, you've got this. Sending love and light your way from Brisbane, Australia, this is Ange. Thanks for listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson. www.angelahenderson.com.au